Baie welkom by Melk en jou teetyd en dit is vir my 'n voorreg om weer saam met julle te kuier en soos julle kan sien het ons 'n bietjie 'n ander agtergrond. Ons is by Menlyn Barnyard en ek is vandag kinderlik. Kinderlik, dat sy vir 'n soutie kan jy mooi
probeer,
praat. Ja. Is ek baie opgewonde want ek is hier saam met John Ellis. Of hoe het jy gesê nou Jannie Ellis?
Jannie Els.
So Jannie Els.
Ja.
Okay, maar weet jy wat 'n Jan Ellis pudding? Het jy al gehoord van dit?
O, nee, ek het nie.
Ek gaan jou 'n bietjie vertel, maar in elk geval, hy is van Tree Sixtythree en hy kuier saam met my vandag. En dit is vir my, ek moet sê ek is bietjie starstruck. I'm sorry nee.
Dis baie nice.
Maar toe ek 18 was, toe raak hulle hit en ek het dit geluister as 'n jong meisie en ek was so ja, baie welkom op
Lekker.
Melk in jou tee.
Melk in jou tee.
Ja.
Hier is ek vir die eerste keer op Melk in jou tee en ek's baie opgewonde, verskriklik lekker.
Okay, nou as jy sukkel met die Afrikaans, ons praat mengels op.
Ek sukkel baie met Afrikaans. Ek het 'n paar woorde.
Okay.
En my woordeskatboek is in die kar.
So, okay, but you can find a friend if you,
Asseblief.
if you need to. Maar John, jy is nou hierso by Barnyard en julle gaan vanaand optree waaroor ons ek het myself genooi. Sorry nee. Ja, jy kan nou mag jy nie meer nee sê nie. En hy het gesê ja, hy sal saam met my gesels oor dit wat julle mee besig is. Maar voordat ons daar begin en waarmee want julle het nou amper ons gaan nie ons ouderdomme weggee hier nie.
Ja.
Maar in 1997 het julle begin 'n hit raak as Tree Sixtythree en ek onthou ek was het gekuier in Durban.
Oh ja?
Ja, want my ma kom bietjie van Durban af. Ons het so rukkie daar gebly en toe kom ons terug Centurion toe. Weet nie hoekom hulle ooit dit gedoen het nie. Maar inderdaad het ons nou maar daar gebly en toe gaan kuier ons weer by my cousin.
O, ek sien jou.
Ja. En toe sleep hy my kerk toe een aand en julle was daar.
Really?
Ja, and I was sold. So that was how I knew it. Wow. That's baie cool.
Amazing.
Maar hoe het julle by Tree Sixtythree se naam uitgekom? Ja.
Boom 63.
Boom 63.
Ja.
Maar watter boom 63? Daar's
Nee,
baie bome
die boom van die Here.
Tree, okay.
I'll give you the English version of the reason Tree is called Tree.
Yes.
Okay. The
Okay.
original name of the band was just Tree.
Yes.
Net Tree.
Ja.
And it came from the idea of the metaphor of the tree being a symbol of God. Deep roots, planted,
yes.
fruit on the tree, shelter, shade,
Oh, wow.
protection, all those beautiful images that a tree can be.
Yes.
Right? And I love that tree of life. The fact that Jesus hung on a cross, the tree.
Sure, yeah.
So a very powerful image. I thought it was like
Yes.
when we did our second album, we called it 63 after Psalm 63.
Yeah.
There's a song on that album called Earnestly, which is from that psalm.
Okay.
We got to America and there was a band already called Tree and they had tree.com already registered and they didn't want to give it up and there was a bit of genade.
Genade, ja, dis 'n baie goeie woord om te gebruik vir Afrikaans.
So the record company said we've got to change it or we've got to alter it
Wow.
or do something new and they looked at the CD and it said Tree 63 on the side there.
Ja.
Band name, album title.
Okay.
And they said, why not Tree 63? And we said, no, that's the worst idea, terrible.
En-
Dit is ons.
Ja, en vandag is dit wat is vandag is dit iets history. Now it's history.
History.
And that's how it came about. But you were like a Durban boykie.
Ja, I am.
Still
In my heart.
in your heart, but you're not Durban anymore. You're now in
Nee,
Cape Town.
Cape
But
Town,
we will forgive you.
Asseblief.
Okay. So do you shout for the shocks?
Well, it's difficult because if I live in the Cape,
Okay, yeah. No, I
I have
hear
to be a
you.
stormer now.
No, but you don't have to do that.
Don't have to.
Yeah, because I live in Pretoria and I
En jy is
do
nie 'n
not.
bol nie.
Ek is nie 'n blou bil nie. So
Jop.
sorry, jammer nie. Ek
Jop,
sal bely.
Dit is verskriklik.
Ek sal Sondag bely by die kerk. Ek is nie 'n blou bil nie. I said maybe if they pay me and my son might play for Blue Bulls ever,
Jop.
maybe. So, but never. But okay, maar kom ons kom net tot by die punt. So jy kom van Durban
Ja.
af, lekker Durban.
Ja.
Groen is die land van Natal.
Van 'n taal, ja.
Love Durbs.
Ja.
I think because of my dad,
Ja, okay.
he was like really into Natal
Ja.
and loved it.
Dis 'n lekker plek.
Het is reg,
Ja,
baie
ja.
warm,
Baie warm, yes.
baie warm, maar dis 'n mooi plek, is lekker, maar most of your songs you wrote on the beach.
Does it sound like that?
You said it sometime
No,
in one
I
interview.
did.
You
So
did.
the early songs, the first album.
Yeah.
Some of the second was written more in London when I was on a 2-year working visa in those days.
Okay, yeah.
So each album becomes like a snapshot of where you are in your life. That first album, lots of songs, just guitar on the beach, looking at the waves, thinking about my new faith. I was a new Christian.
Yeah.
Songs came very quickly. Then there's stuff like the second album, Million Lights.
Love
Treasure.
that song.
Treasure was written in a car on the way to Zimbabwe.
Oh, really?
You know?
Wow.
Million Lights was written in a London red bus somewhere in Westminster. You know, just so songs come wherever they come, and you have to catch them.
We must get back to Treasure.
Okay.
Because that's a nice story.
Okay.
But you said you were a new Christian when you started writing songs on the beach. But how did that come about? Of course, were you brought up in a Christian home or anything?
No. I had no church background.
Sure.
My mom was a Christian and she went to a Methodist church. And that was okay, but it's when you're a teenager, you don't want to go anywhere near Sunday school, you know? Genade.
Yeah.
Lieve aarde.
You've got good Afrikaans, huh? Yeah.
And then in my 20s, there was some mental health stuff, depression and anxiety, which I think is quite common these days to talk about, but in 1997, no one talked about mental health.
No, that was not good.
So if I had an anxiety attack, you wanted to hide it because you felt embarrassed because no one knew what it was. You know, no one knew how to process this, you know.
Yes.
So I was struggling with anxiety, and I realized I needed something more to me than who I thought what I thought life was about. And eventually I turned towards Christianity. But I knew nothing about it, nothing about the Bible, church. But I remember I got down on my hands and my knees in my bedroom one day. I was struggling and I said, God, help me. And I'm telling you, I felt a sense, the presence of somebody in that room.
Wow.
It wasn't a decision in my head to start becoming a Christian. I met the Lord.
Yeah, you met him.
That's a big difference.
He came into your space.
He was already there. I just suddenly revealed himself. You know? So that's where the power of it for me came over me, and ever since my life has been pursuing this relationship with this God, you know. So it's very powerful and very special for me.
And anxiety is like still in some Christians around, or
it's a human thing.
It's
and
human
we live in anxious times, and it's not easy, and it's getting harder sometimes. Dealing with mental health is so important. There are, unfortunately, Christians who believe that mental health is something you pray against. I used to think that. I don't think that anymore. I think there's some very, very normal scientific stuff that we can just deal with, that God's given us the wisdom as humans to deal with scientifically. I don't think I'll be careful what I say.
Yeah, no, I hear what you say.
But anxiety and depression can be dealt with.
Yes.
And dealing with it can really affect your relationship with God beautifully. You know? Set you free.
Yeah, we're not gonna. We can maybe have a discussion one day
about
that. Not now. We're too excited, so we're not going to do that. Okay, but let me see. What is your favorite song
of Trees?
Of Tree 63. What you wrote?
Ooh.
If you
maybe the one I just wrote last week, which you haven't heard yet.
Are you going to perform it tonight?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Then I'll have to come to Cape Town.
I have a few. One of them I'm going to do tonight is a song called All Right, which is written about being a South African and also being a person and trusting God for both those two situations.
Ooh.
You'll hear it tonight. I think you will like it.
Okay.
Million Lights is very special to me. Treasure is very special to me. So it's hard to choose one. It's like asking which is your favorite child.
I gaan niks sê nie.
Niks sê nie.
One of them sitting is also nothing. But I'll just say hello, yellow.
Hello, yellow.
Okay. What's that? What's Treasure?
Yes. Treasure began life in my head. I was doing my honors year at university.
Okay.
And I was walking through the campus and I heard dan in my head for days.
Can I just say to you something? That riff or whatever you call that thingy, I always thought it like an advertisement for some chocolate.
Do you know what it was?
No,
it was used for Wimpy as an ad.
Oh, that's
maybe that's where
why.
you heard it.
Yeah, but I thought it because I love chocolate.
I love chocolate too, you can see.
Yeah, no, I see. Good. But I think it would work. But in any case, let's
go.
It
worked then.
Okay, but
so
tell the story.
So some songs take a while to arrive.
Yeah.
They come, a riff arrives, and then a word, and then a title, and then months later something else.
Okay.
You have to be patient with it. If you force it, you can write something terrible. Some songs arrive very quickly, like On the Beach.
Yes.
Look What You've Done, a song of mine that was written in Cape Town. That happened in over 20 minutes or so.
Sure.
But Treasure took a while. And eventually, in a combi, on the way back from Zimbabwe to Durban, and 2 a.m,
Yes.
on that long drive, these words started coming to me about taken up out of the world, and the concept of treasure. You're my treasure, and so it was really good to finally arrive at that song.
Sure. Oh, that's this, and that's one of my favorites as well.
Thank you.
But there's a few, but okay. So now Tree 63 was like slowly becoming something here in South Africa, and then suddenly you guys went overseas and you received the Dove Award.
Yes.
I think you got 2.
No, just the one.
Just the one, but you were nominated for another one.
No,
not?
I think just the one, as far as I can remember.
Okay, then I read wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, but you got 1.
3 Grammys.
Oh,
5
really?
summers. Yeah.
Oh,
Lots.
so I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Ek jammer. I only received a stywe handdruk.
Nee.
Okay. So, but why did you guys go to America? What were you invited?
Yeah, so
How did it happen?
I think the thing with every band is wanting to see, especially from South Africa in the 90s, when we were still isolated and feeling and coming out of apartheid and coming out of a new dispensation and emerging into the world as a country and as a people.
Yeah.
And then this band comes along and you want to see if what you have can reach the world.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
To see if what you have is world class. And we somehow got drawn out of South Africa into England first and then into America, and it was very exciting.
Sure.
And we got to America with these songs, and American people loved them. We had a lot of great times in America, so we were very grateful.
Sure. Now we are also grateful, because then blessed be your name.
Yeah.
That's that. And what's that other one? Nothing But the Blood.
Yeah.
You guys did that one as well.
Those are Matt Redman songs.
Yes. It's Matt Redman songs. But sorry, Matt. You guys.
No, he's a good friend. And
But sorry, Matt, you did it better.
Janine, moenie so wees nie.
I still love Matt, but ek is 'n oop boek.
It's fine.
Yeah, but you read. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, now you come back to South Africa and then you guys were almost gone. What happened?
Yeah.
May I ask what happened?
After years in the States, it was time to take a break. It was very hectic.
Okay. Yeah.
Lots of traveling, lots of touring. Very difficult for young families, marriages, kids.
Yes, I imagine.
Away a lot.
Okay.
Exhausting. And I hate to say this, and I'll say it carefully, but the American Christian music industry is not healthy.
Oh.
It's not easy to be a musician anyway, but that space is not always healthy, and it could do with some help.
Pray.
Yeah.
Pray.
And I needed a break from it. So
nou weet jy ook waarvoor om te bid, nee? Yes.
Yeah, I came back from there just to take a 6-month sabbatical, and suddenly it was 15 years later,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a long sabbatical.
Yeah, it's when God says rest, He doesn't mess around.
Yeah, and sometimes you feel like, but you're losing out, you're wasting time.
Yeah, it was difficult. It's not easy because you're trying to be obedient.
Yes.
And you see the world around you moving on, but God said no to you.
Sure.
That's a massive test of what you think you're hearing from God. It was difficult.
But are you like a very impulsive person?
Yeah.
So that was really tough for you then.
But at some point, I really felt the need to stop.
Okay.
So and then I embraced it, and then it was okay.
Yeah.
But for the first few years, I really struggled with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now you guys are back.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
I meant the music.
Yes.
But in any case, take it if you want. Why? What happened? How did you get?
I spent a long time not doing this.
Yeah.
And I did solo albums.
Yes.
And I did cover bands. And it was fun. I had lots of fun musically outside of the context of Tree.
Yes.
And then a friend said to me last year, "You're the guy who wrote all these Tree songs that meant a lot to people. Why are you not singing them?" And something in my heart went, what reason do I have not to sing these songs I wrote?
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm waiting for God. And then I suddenly felt a little bit later, no, God's waiting for me.
Sure.
I suddenly felt ready to get on stage again with these songs that mean so much to me because they came from here.
Yes.
And I also realized, when I looked at the world around me at this time, and I realized it's a very, very difficult time.
Yeah.
We all need some hope and something to inspire us. And if Tree songs inspired people in the past, maybe they can do it again now.
And there's a new generation to be to
So
inspire.
I'm not sure if I'm right, but I'm going to try.
Well, I brought my son with me,
Yes.
so tonight I hope he's going to give you an idea.
We'll know
if you're
later.
going to do that, you can inspire that generation.
We'll
But
know
I
later.
think we need, how can I say, real musicians.
Yeah.
Not that any. If you can hear my heart, please. But real rockers. You know that.
Well, that's good to know, because that's what we do.
Yeah, but we do need that, because the youth are looking at that.
Yeah.
They like stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
they
yeah.
do not like the old type of music or the
There's
slow songs
something
or
new
whatever.
is necessary.
Yeah. And I love it, because when I listen to the lyrics of the words and the stuff that you're singing, there is something in. There's something deeper
That's
in.
good to hear.
And that is what that's what they need.
Mhm.
And I believe that the word will come by hearing.
I agree.
hear
That's
it
why we do
and
what we do.
repeat.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm so excited that you guys
Thank you.
are back.
Thank you.
And we are actually supposed to stop talking, but I'm just going to ignore because maybe you will just be kind to me.
It's fine. Talk for hours.
Yes, let's go. No, but you guys also have to go and finish
Yeah,
up
we've got to
and
go
set up.
set up all this stuff.
But John, if there's one message that you can give South Africa,
Okay.
because I love to read politics and listen to all the podcasts and see what's going on in the country. And sometimes I would love to go through a camera
Yeah.
and to go and just help that guy on the other side. And mostly pray for him,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
maybe hit him a few.
Yeah.
But no, but that's how we all feel like that.
Mhm. Frustrated.
Frustrated.
Yes.
Can't you see the answer?
Yeah.
And everybody wants to pack their bags and go to America or to wherever.
And it's not better anywhere else in the world.
Ja,
In fact, it's probably better here.
die gras is nooit groener by die
Nee,
ander kant.
is
Die kompos. Ek wil
Die
nou nie
kompos.
mooier woord gebruik. Is net baie meer. So, what message can you give South Africa? A mom and dad that's
Yes.
almost, well, a little bit older than we are, but we know our children, we don't have hope. What can you tell them?
The older I get, the more I realize how true it is that our hope is not in politicians, our president, our other party leaders, mayors, police people. We need those things to function, and it's important.
Yes.
But our hope actually is in something other than ourselves. It's in God.
Yeah.
And somehow or other, God says it's going to be all right. That's the journey of faith we have to go on. It's a very difficult thing to have faith, because it means hoping and looking and seeing the storm coming and knowing it's going to be a storm, but trusting God anyway.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's the life of faith that we are called to. There's someone said to me once, there's actually a calling to live in a failed state.
Sure.
It's interesting. Jesus lived in a failed state. Jesus lived in an occupied Roman Jerusalem.
Sure.
Interesting, right? If
Yeah.
he can do it and find some hope, I think we as South Africans, and any country in the world especially, but especially South Africans, we can live in this state of brokenness and find some hope and be part of the hope.
Sure.
So that's my 2 cents.
But John, I just want to say all the best
Thank you.
for the new season that you
Thank you.
guys are entering in.
Thank
And really, may God implode, I hope that's the correct English, implode your tent penne.
Explode.
Explode. No, not implode. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Implode with the Holy Spirit.
Yes, thank you.
Explode.
That's
to,
what I need.
to give out to the world and really give you open doors.
Thank you.
Really, really open doors where you can go into places where our normal stuck up Christians can't go into. Sorry, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really pray that God will use you guys
That's
like
great.
never before.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Janine.
That's
Thank you.
my prayer for your.
And thank you to Malcolm Diotia and you, Janine, and everyone here, and Mendelin. What a great day to be here. Thank you for having me on your show.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tot volgende keer. Tot ziens.
Tot ziens, julle.
Bye.